Why the end times terrified the disciples. The question was asked in a whisper, but it shook the future. Not shouted, not dramatic. Just four men sitting on a hillside, staring at a city they loved, listening to words they did not yet understand. And suddenly, the world they thought was stable began to fracture. Jesus had just said the unthinkable. Stone by stone, the temple would fall. Not one block left standing. No warning of if only when. And the disciples felt fear rise in their chests, not because they loved buildings, but because they understood what those words meant. Because if the temple fell, then the end was near. Before we go any further, like this video, share it with someone who's ever wondered why the end times feel unsettling, and subscribe to the Bible Project for more cinematic Bible stories brought to life. What you're about to discover is not about modern panic or sensational prophecy. It is about why the disciples themselves were terrified, and how their fear reveals something crucial about the end of all things and the heart of God. A world about to end. To understand their fear, you must understand their world. For the disciples, the temple was not just a place of worship, it was the center of reality. God's presence, national identity, cosmic order. The temple was where heaven touched earth, where forgiveness happened, where time felt anchored. So when Jesus said, "Do you see these great buildings? Not one stone will be left on another," he wasn't predicting renovation. He was announcing collapse. And to a first-century Jew, collapse meant one thing: the end of the age. That's why they pulled him aside on the Mount of Olives and asked the question that revealed their fear. When will these things happen? And what will be the sign that they are about to be fulfilled? They weren't curious. They were afraid. Why the end terrified them. The disciples had grown up hearing end times language, but always from a distance. Now it was standing in front of them, wearing flesh, speaking calmly. They believed the end would come with fire, judgment, upheaval, and divine wrath. They believed nations would fall, creation would shake, and God would finally intervene. And they believed most people would not survive it. They had seen Rome's cruelty. They had seen rebellion crushed. They had seen false messiahs rise and fall. So when Jesus began to speak of wars, famines, earthquakes, betrayal, persecution, and deception, it didn't sound symbolic. It sounded inevitable. The end times terrified them because it meant everything familiar would be stripped away. Faith would be tested under pressure. Many would fall away, and suffering would precede glory. This wasn't escapism. It was confrontation. The kind of fear Jesus did not remove. What's shocking is what Jesus didn't do. He didn't soften the message. He didn't reassure them with timelines. He didn't say, "Don't worry, it won't be that bad." Instead, he said, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. Nation will rise against nation. You will be hated because of me. Many will fall away, but the one who endures to the end will be saved." Jesus did not remove their fear by denying reality. He reframed it by revealing purpose. The end times were not meant to terrify believers into paralysis, but to prepare them for endurance. The fear beneath the fear. At its core, the disciples weren't just afraid of destruction. They were afraid of loss. Loss of safety, loss of clarity, loss of the Jesus they could touch. They didn't yet understand resurrection. They didn't yet grasp the Spirit's coming. They didn't yet know the kingdom would advance through suffering, not around it. So when Jesus spoke of the end, they heard separation. They heard danger. They heard uncertainty, and uncertainty is terrifying when faith is still learning how to stand. When Jesus changed the question, then something subtle but powerful happened. Jesus shifted their focus. He stopped talking about when and started talking about who. See that no one leads you astray. Stay awake. Be faithful. I am with you. The message was clear. The end is not about prediction. It is about perseverance. The disciples feared the end because they thought it would remove God from the story. Jesus revealed the opposite. The end would reveal him fully, the coming of the Son of Man. Then Jesus spoke words that changed everything. They will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds with great power and glory. This was not destruction without direction. This was not chaos without conclusion. This was Daniel's vision fulfilled. The moment when injustice ends, suffering is answered, and authority returns to its rightful king. The disciples feared the end because they imagined it as collapse. Jesus revealed it as arrival, why they feared, and why we do too. The end times terrified the disciples because they misunderstood the timing. They underestimated God's faithfulness, and they didn't yet see beyond the cross. But their fear wasn't condemned. It was transformed. After the resurrection, after Pentecost, after the Spirit came, these same men who once trembled at the idea of the end would preach boldly in the face of death. Fear gave way to hope. Uncertainty gave way to confidence. And the end became something they longed for, not fled from. The meaning for us today. The end times still unsettle people not because Scripture is unclear, but because control is stripped away. The Bible never promised comfort before completion. It promised presence. Jesus never said the end would be easy. He said it would be worth it. The disciples feared the end because they thought it meant losing Jesus. In reality, it meant seeing him fully. If this story reframed how you view prophecy, fear, or the future, stay with us. Subscribe to the Bible Project for more cinematic journeys into Scripture. Because the Bible doesn't just warn us about the end, it prepares us to face it with faith, clarity, and hope.